All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I am Sarabjit Kaur and with me is Saira Mujtaba. The headlines. Union Cabinet approves COVID-19 vaccination for all above 45 years of age from April 1st. India achieves significant milestone of administering more than 5 crore doses of corona vaccine. Home Ministry issues guidelines for effective control of COVID-19 from April 1st. Political parties intensify campaigning for assembly elections in poll-bound states and Union Territory. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address 2 rallies in Assam and 1 in West Bengal today. Suspended Mumbai police officer Sachin Vaze named prime accused in Mansukh Hiren murder case. Fitch Ratings revises India's growth estimate to 12.8% for next fiscal. Over 67% people cast their votes to elect a new parliament in Israel. World Tuberculosis Day is being observed today to create awareness about health, social and economic consequences of TB. And in cricket, India beat England by 66 runs in first one-day international in Pune. As the number of COVID cases are on the rise again, we appeal to our listeners not to lower the guard, follow all precautions and all those above 45 years to get vaccinated without any hesitation. Stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. Now the news in detail. The centre has opened COVID-19 vaccination for everyone aged above 45 years starting 1st of April. Briefing media after the cabinet meeting, Union Minister Prakash Zavadekar requested all eligible people to immediately register and get vaccinated.
From 1st of April, anybody who is over 45 age will get vaccination even though he has no comorbidities. उसके लिए उसे अब कोई दाखिला लाने की सर्टिफिकेट लाने की जरूरत नहीं है. 45 उम्र है उसको मिलेगा. वैक्सीन पर्याप्त मात्रा में उपलब्ध है, उसकी चिंता करने की जरूरत नहीं है. और भारत को अभिमान है कि भारत के दोनों वैक्सीन बहुत अच्छे सफल है. खुद प्रधानमंत्री ने कोवैक्सीन लेकर एक तरह से उस मुहिम का शुभारंभ किया था. और इसलिए कोई भी वैक्सीन ले, डॉक्टर के सलाह से दूसरा डोज ले और अपना नाम रजिस्टर करके पहले वैक्सीन ले ले.
Health Minister Harshvardhan has said that there is no scarcity of vaccines in any part of the country.
इंक्लूडिंग महाराष्ट्र सभी जगह पर पर्याप्त वैक्सीन स्टेट्स को दी गई है. कहीं पर वैक्सीन की शॉर्टेज नहीं है और आने वाले समय में भी जिस स्तर तक भी जो है वैक्सीनेशन के कवरेज को वो इम्प्रूव करते हैं, उस स्तर तक जो है भारत सरकार उनको मदद करने के लिए पूरी कमिटमेंट के साथ काम को करेगी. सारे देश को निःशुल्क दे रही है, उसी को स्टेट गवर्नमेंट इम्प्लीमेंट कर रही है. सरकारी अस्पतालों में फ्री, प्राइवेट अस्पतालों में 150 रुपया उसकी वैक्सीन की कॉस्ट को कैप किया गया है.
Dr. Ashutosh Biswas of AIIMS, New Delhi, has urged people above 45 years without comorbidity to get vaccinated now.
45 years के ऊपर विदाउट कोमॉर्बिडिटीज, जिनको जैसे हाइपरटेंशन, डायबिटीज और कोरोनरी आर्टरी डिजीज और एंडोक्राइन डिजीज, ये सारे नहीं है, उनको भी ये वैक्सीन लेना चाहिए. गवर्नमेंट हैज टेकन ए वेरी वाइज डिसीजन टू कवर अप आल्सो मोर देन 45 years of age.
In view of the festival of Holi, Dr. Shambhu Samrat Samajdar of Kolkata asked people to avoid visiting crowded places and follow hand hygiene, social distancing and wear mask to check the spread of the virus.
त्योहार का मौसम आ रहा है, हम लोग जो होली एंजॉय करेंगे, लेकिन ये एंजॉयमेंट के साथ साथ हम लोग को फिर से मैं बोलेगा SMS प्रोटोकॉल को फॉलो करना है. सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग, मास्क एंड सैनिटाइजेशन, इसके साथ हम लोग को होली मनाना है.
The Union Health Ministry has written to the states to immediately undertake necessary measures for expansion of COVID-19 vaccination drive to include beneficiaries aged 45 years and above. Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan has written to the Chief Secretaries and Administrators of all states and Union Territories to direct the concerned officials in this regard. He said They should ensure wider dissemination of information of such expansion among citizens for increased uptake of vaccination services. He said special focus should be given on optimal utilization of the capacity of COVID-19 vaccination centers while minimizing wastage of vaccines. Mr. Bhushan said that the National Expert Group on Vaccine Administration for COVID-19, NEGVAC, has been guiding all aspects of COVID-19 vaccination drive on the basis of available scientific evidence. India has crossed a significant milestone in the fight against the global pandemic. The cumulative number of COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country crossed 5 crores yesterday. The Union Health Ministry said that a total of 5,75,162 vaccine doses have been given so far.
The Union Home Ministry has issued an order containing guidelines for effective control of COVID-19. It will be effective from 1st of April and remain in force up to 30th of April. The main focus of the guidelines is to consolidate the substantial gains achieved in containing the spread of COVID-19, which was visible in the sustained decline in the number of active cases continuously for about 5 months. Keeping in view a fresh surge in COVID-19 cases, which is being witnessed in some parts of the country, the guidelines mandate the state and union territory governments to strictly enforce the test, track, treat protocol and ensure observance of COVID-appropriate behavior by everyone and to scale up the vaccination drive to cover all the target groups. Government has said that the time interval between 2 doses of Covishield vaccine has been extended from the present 4 to 6 weeks to 4 to 8 weeks. Within this extended time interval of 4 to 8 weeks, protection would be greater if vaccine is taken between 6 to 8 weeks, but not beyond the 8th week. A report.
The architecture of the CoWIN platform has been amended to do away with the feature of auto-scheduling of the second dose on the 29th day. As such, there will no longer be any auto-scheduling of second dose on the 29th day. The beneficiaries will have complete freedom to decide or choose the date of second dose within the extended interval of 4 to 8 weeks as per their convenience. The beneficiary is advised to take the second dose in the 6 to 8 week of the date of first dose. It is advisable not to delay beyond the 8th week as it may leave the beneficiary vulnerable. Even if a person is automatically scheduled for the second dose, he is free to choose a day and date as per his convenience between the extended period of 4 to 8 weeks. People can reschedule their appointment by visiting www.cowin.gov.in. Anupam Mishra, AR News, Delhi.
In Gujarat, a total of 1,730 COVID-19 cases were reported in the last 24 hours. The state also reported 4 deaths yesterday. The recovery count in the state rose by 1,255 yesterday to reach 2,77,603. Our correspondent reports as many as 2,25,555 people were vaccinated in the state against COVID-19 yesterday.
The state continued to report spike in COVID-19 cases. Yesterday, it was the highest single-day count since the pandemic began. In new cases, Surat led with 577 cases, followed by Ahmedabad with 509, Vadodara with 162, and Rajkot with 140 cases. According to State Health Department, active caseload in the state is now 8,380, of which 76 patients are on ventilator support. More than 41 lakhs people have been vaccinated against COVID-19 in the state so far. Amid the surge of COVID cases, government has decided to shut offline classes in all the ITIs in the state till 10th April. The government has also made RT-PCR test mandatory for entry from Maharashtra. Aparna Khun, AR News, Ahmedabad.
The Odisha government has restricted gatherings in marriage functions to 200 persons and those in funerals and related rites to 50. Earlier, the number of people allowed at weddings and funerals was 500 each. The revised guidelines to this effect come into force from the 26th of this month. More details from our Bhubaneswar correspondent.
Raising its guard further against any COVID-19 resurgence in the state, Chief Minister Nabin Patnaik yesterday asked the collectors and superintendents of police to personally monitor the adherence of COVID-19 protocol by the people in their respective districts. In a virtual meeting yesterday, he re-emphasized the enforcement of use of masks in public places while asking the concerned authorities to jack up testing, tracking and treatment. Meanwhile, the state is close to vaccinating around 20 lakh beneficiaries, with more than half the number being senior citizens. Girish Chandra Das, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
You're listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Union Cabinet approves COVID-19 vaccination for all above 45 years of age from 1st of April. India achieves significant milestone of administering more than 5 crore doses of corona vaccine. Home Ministry issues guidelines for effective control of COVID-19 from 1st of April. Political parties intensify campaigning for assembly elections in poll-bound states and union territory. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address 2 rallies in Assam and 1 in West Bengal today. Suspended Mumbai police officer Sachin Vaze named prime accused in Mansukh Hiren murder case. Fitch Ratings revises India's growth estimate to 12.8% for next fiscal. Over 67% people cast their votes to elect a new parliament in Israel. World Tuberculosis Day is being observed today to create awareness about health, social and economic consequences of TB. And in cricket, India beat England by 66 runs in first one-day international in Pune. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts. Political parties have intensified campaign for assembly elections in Assam. Star campaigners of various parties are crisscrossing the state to woo the voters. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address rallies at Bihpuria and Sibjhar today. Amid hectic canvassing in the state, volunteers of an NGO in Tinsukia district are busy with door-to-door campaign in remote areas to create awareness about the importance of casting votes in a democratic country like India. A report from our Dibrugarh correspondent.
The volunteers of NGO Suryodaya Base at Tinsukia district are busy from last 7 days on door-to-door awareness campaign. The NGO has been conducting the awareness campaign in 2 assembly constituencies of Tinsukia, bordering neighboring state Arunachal Pradesh. Director of the Suryodaya NGO, Akhil Chandra Barua, said to AIR News that awareness campaign is conducted in around 25 different villages where the voting percentage was low in the last assembly election.
In last general assembly election, there was low voting percentage in remote villages, especially at Assam-Arunachal Pradesh border. Therefore, our NGO started door-to-door awareness campaigning in these areas, informing public about the importance of our voting right in democracy. While doing the campaigning, we did not canvass voting for any party, and campaign is entirely done by our volunteers.
Apart from the government agencies, involvement of NGO in such awareness campaigns is indeed a good sign for a democratic country like India. JJ Thopsom, AIR News from Dibrugarh.
In West Bengal, electioneering for the first and second phase of assembly elections is in full swing. Prime Minister and senior BJP leader Narendra Modi will be holding a rally at Kanthi of East Mednipur district in the state today in support of party candidates. Trinamool Congress Supremo and Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee will be holding 3 rallies in Bankura district. She is scheduled to address public meetings at Bishnupur, Onda and Bankura assembly constituencies. Sanjit Morcha leaders are also scheduled to hold rallies and roadshows in support of their candidates.
In Tamil Nadu, electioneering is reaching a crescendo as the state goes to poll on 6th April. As battle lines are drawn and campaigning of all sorts are being experimented, from the state-of-the-art social media to the colourful traditional folk media. More details from our Chennai correspondent.
Tamil Nadu has always seen people of Kollywood being charismatic in political ground. Karunanidhi, MGR and Jayalalitha were the forerunners. But it is no cakewalk for silver screen actors now. This time the state politics is seeing the advent of new Tinseltown faces enter the fray. Actor Kamal Haasan is fielded against Vanati Srinivasan of the BJP and Mayura Jayakumar of the Congress. Actress Kushbu has been given an opportunity to test the political waters in Thousand Lights constituency in Chennai for the first time. Another actor is Udayanidhi Stalin is seeking election from Chepak Thiruvallikeni in Chennai. This is a constituency where his father M.K. Stalin and grandpa M. Karunanidhi were elected. With Murthy, Joy, AIR News, Chennai.
As the date of polling is fast approaching in Tamil Nadu, the contestants are vying with each other in wooing the voters, especially the women. The reason is that at present women electors outnumber men, as being explained by our correspondent.
The demographic profile of the electors in Tamil Nadu gives an interesting analysis. For the first time in the state electoral history, women electors outnumbered their male counterparts during the 2014 Lok Sabha elections, with a slender margin of 3,237. From then on, the number of women voters kept on increasing. That now stands at nearly 3.2 crore as against the 3.1 crore men. It leads the candidates of all the political parties to bend head over their heels to woo the women voters. However, paradoxically, the number of women contestants being fielded by major political parties this time has declined marginally. The DMK's present tally of women candidates is just 12 as against 15 in 2016, while that of the AIADMK has shrunk to 14 as compared to 25 in the previous assembly polls. That notwithstanding, the key to the victory of the candidates and the political alliance formations are undoubtedly with the women, now more than ever before. Jai Singh, AIR News, Chennai.
The Maharashtra Anti-Terrorism Squad has said that Sachin Vaze is the prime accused in Mansukh Hiren's alleged murder case. He is responsible for destruction of crucial evidence like SIM cards and mobile phones, besides CCTV footage of his residence, office, certain godowns and business establishments. Maharashtra ATS Chief Jayjeet Singh said it will try to gain the custody of suspended police officer Sachin Vaze to question him about his role in Mansukh Hiren's murder case. Mr. Singh confirmed that evidence collected so far suggests that Vinayak Shinde, who was out on parole, had called Mansukh for a meeting where he was killed.
American credit rating agency Fitch has revised India's GDP growth estimate to 12.8% for next fiscal from the previous 11% on the back of a stronger carryover effect, a looser fiscal stance and better virus containment. The ratings agency, in its latest Global Economic Outlook, GEO, anticipates the level of the country's GDP to remain well below its pre-pandemic forecast trajectory. Fitch also expects GDP growth to ease to 5.8% in fiscal year 2023. In a report, it said, India's recovery from the depths of the lockdown-induced recession in the second quarter of 2020 has been swifter than expected. GDP surpassed its pre-pandemic level in the fourth quarter of the current fiscal. In Israel, 67.2% eligible voters cast their ballots to elect a new parliament yesterday. This was the fourth parliamentary elections in 2 years to elect 120-member Knesset. Israel's Central Elections Committee does not expect all of the votes to be counted this afternoon due to coronavirus-related restrictions. According to exit polls, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's Likud party and its allies are projected to win 52 or 53 seats in the 120-seat Knesset.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be visiting Bangladesh on March 26 to 27 to take part in the concluding ceremony of the birth centenary of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and the golden jubilee of its liberation from Pakistan. In praise of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, renowned vocalist Pandit Ajay Chakravarti has created a new rag. Our special correspondent from Dhaka has sent this report.
On the occasion of the birth centenary of the founding father of Bangladesh, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, renowned vocalist Pandit Ajay Chakravarti has composed a new raga named Maitri as a tribute to the Bangabandhu. The new raga is dedicated to Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman with elements of Maitri or India-Bangladesh friendship. It is a newly composed raga incorporating the classical rules for the composition of raga. 3 compositions will be presented which are written in Sanskrit, Hindi and Bengali languages. The Sanskrit one is composed by Dr. Arindam Chakraborty, professor at the Hawaii University in USA. The Hindi lyric is composed by Dr. Susmita Basu Majumdar and developed by Dr. Ravi Burman. And the Bengali song is written by the disciple of Pandit Ajay Chakravarti and young maestro Anil Chatterjee. All the three songs are composed by Pandit Ajay Chakravarti. The compositions contain references to the 50 years of liberation of Bangladesh and the birth centenary of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. The unique nature of the friendship between India and Bangladesh is also mentioned in the lyrics of the composition. Rajesh Jha, AIR News, Dhaka.
Today is the World Tuberculosis Day. The day is observed on 24th March every year to raise public awareness about the devastating health, social and economic consequences of tuberculosis, TB, and to step up efforts to end the global epidemic. The day is observed to commemorate the anniversary of Dr. Robert Koch's discovery of the TB bacteria in 1882. TB remains one of the world's deadliest infectious killers. Each day, nearly 4,000 lose their lives to TB and close to 28,000 people fall ill with this preventable and curable disease. Global efforts to combat TB have saved an estimated 63 million lives since the year 2000. The theme of World TB Day 2021, "The Clock is Ticking," conveys the sense that the world is running out of time to act on the commitments to end TB made by global leaders. President Ramnath Kovind in his message has said that Government of India is committed to achieving the goal of universal health coverage as per the UN Sustainable Development Goals. He said this is being implemented under the aegis of Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, which is the largest national insurance scheme in the world. Dr. Surya Kant, Head of Pulmonary Department, KGMU Chairman, UP State Task Force for TB Elimination and National Vice Chairman, IMA AMS, spoke to All India Radio on the other significance of the World TB Day.
ये प्रधानमंत्री जी का सपना टीबी मुक्त भारत का कैसे हो अपना, ये हम सबको सोचना है। टीबी आप जानते हैं एक संक्रामक रोग है, यानी इन्फेक्शियस डिजीज है, और जब टीबी से ग्रसित कोई व्यक्ति खांसता है तो उसके खांसने से, छींकने से ये टीबी दूसरों को फैलती है। और अगर इसके हम लक्षणों की बात करें तो सबसे प्रमुख लक्षण है बुखार आना, जो शाम को तेज हो जाता है, रात को पसीना आना, भूख कम लगना, खांसी आना, खांसी में कभी कभी खून आ जाना, वजन कम होना और बच्चों की ग्रोथ रुक जाना। इन सब लक्षणों से हम टीबी के मरीज को सस्पेक्ट करते हैं और सरकारी स्वास्थ्य केंद्र पर, कोई भी सरकारी स्वास्थ्य केंद्र हो, 2 हफ्ते से ज्यादा किसी को भी खांसी आ रही हो, उसको आप भेज सकते हैं टीबी की जांच के लिए। टीबी की जांच होती है सभी सरकारी अस्पतालों में निःशुल्क।
Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat program aims to actively enhance interaction between people of diverse cultures living in different states and UTs in India with the objective of promoting greater mutual understanding amongst them. Under the Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat campaign, each state is paired with another state. Here is a report from our Agartala correspondent on the campaign for which the state of Tripura has been paired with Bihar.
The northeastern state of Tripura is well known for its scenic beauty, rich natural resources, and a rich art and cultural heritage. Many people from Bihar visit Tripura either for traveling purposes or many have come and settled down or live for a job. Some people from Bihar living in the state express their love for the festive way the Durga Puja and Diwali festival is celebrated here. They express love for Unakoti Siva archaeology. Many have said that before coming, they had hesitations because of differences as they heard over. But after seeing the existence of social harmony vanishes their negative perceptions. The culture, festivals, food and social functions have much affinity with the themes practiced in Bihar. Many said that the cultural mix of different languages and communities in Tripura is really commendable. Rina Nongmaitem, AIR News, Agartala.
Today is the birthday of the great Carnatic musician Muthuswami Dikshitar. Dikshitar was a poet, singer, veena player and a legendary composer of Indian classical Carnatic music. Dikshitar, Shyama Shastri and Tyagraj formed the musical trinity of Carnatic music. The compositions of Dikshitar, of which around 500 are commonly known, are noted for their elaborate and poetic descriptions of Hindu gods and temples. His compositions are widely sung and played even today in classical concerts of Carnatic music. However, unlike the other Carnatic compositions, which are predominantly in Telugu, Dikshitar's compositions are mostly in Sanskrit. He also composed some of his kritis in Manipravalam, a combination of the Sanskrit and Tamil languages. In cricket, India beat England by 66 runs in the first one-day international of the three-match series at the Maharashtra Cricket Association Stadium in Pune last night. Chasing the victory target of 318 runs, England were bowled out for 251 in 42.1 overs. With this win, India went 1-0 up in the three-match series. Both Krunal Pandya and Prasidh Krishna set records, with the former scoring the fastest half-century in ODIs and the latter recording best figures by an Indian in ODI debut. Krunal Pandya scored 58 not out in 31 balls, while Prasidh Krishna took 4 for 54 runs. Earlier, after putting into bat first, Team India scored 317 runs for the loss of 5 wickets in the stipulated 50 overs. Opening batsman Shikhar Dhawan made 98. He was named player of the match. KL Rahul scored 62 not out and skipper Virat Kohli scored 56 runs. For the visitors, Ben Stokes claimed 3 wickets while Mark Wood bagged 2 wickets.
And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. Besides the national capital, Delhi, Mumbai and Chennai are expected to have partly cloudy sky. In Delhi, the maximum temperature is likely to be nearly 31 degrees Celsius, while the minimum was recorded around 20 degrees. In Mumbai, the maximum temperature is likely to be around 35 degrees Celsius, while the minimum was 22 degrees. In Chennai, the temperature will rise up to 34 degrees Celsius, while the minimum was around 24 degrees. Kolkata, with a mainly clear sky, is expected to have a maximum temperature of around 37 degrees Celsius, while the minimum may go up to 26 degrees. Srinagar is likely to have thunderstorm with rain. However, there will be not much fluctuations in the temperature, as it will hover between 5 and 12 degrees Celsius. Jammu may also experience thunderstorm with rain, and the temperatures will move from 13 to 23 degrees Celsius. Leh is likely to witness partly cloudy sky and may register a maximum of around 10 degrees Celsius. The minimum temperature was -2 degrees Celsius. Gilgit is expected to receive rain or snow. The temperature will move from minimum 6 to 18 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have thunderstorm with rain, maximum temperature around 15 degrees, while the minimum was 8 degrees Celsius.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Most newspapers today lead with the Union government's announcement allowing more people to take the COVID jab from 1st of April. Vaccines for all above 45 is the lead in Hindustan Times. The newspaper also headlines, Delhi cases cross 1100, DDMA bars public gathering on Holi, while another headline reads, careless clamour at Chandni Chowk Market. Listing out the key amendments to the Finance Bill 2021, the Business Standard headline reads, Finance Bill gives relief on digital tax, PF threshold. In some relief to borrowers and recognizing the sufferance caused due to COVID-19 lockdown, refund penal interest on EMIs, SC directs lenders, writes The Hindu. The Pioneer mentions the launch of an electric scooter, Hope. IIT Delhi's Hope has running cost of 20 paise per kilometre. And finally, the Times of India takes note of the event, Ek Sham Shahidon Ke Naam, held yesterday at Delhi's Connaught Place, Central Park, leaving the crowds enthralled.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Union Cabinet approves COVID-19 vaccination for all above 45 years of age from April 1st. India achieves significant milestone of administering more than 5 crore doses of corona vaccine. Home Ministry issues guidelines for effective control of COVID-19 from April 1st. Political parties intensify campaigning for assembly elections in poll-bound states and Union Territory. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address 2 rallies in Assam and in West Bengal today. Suspended Mumbai police officer Sachin Vaze named prime accused in Mansukh Hiren murder case. Fitch Ratings revises India's growth estimate to 12.8% for next fiscal. Over 67% people cast their votes to elect a new parliament in Israel. World Tuberculosis Day being observed today to create awareness about health, social and economic consequences of TB. And in cricket, India beat England by 66 runs in first one-day international in Pune. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.